So several states really where the India bloc is facing issues with regards to seat sharing. Told you about what's happening in Bengal. Then there's Maharashtra, there's Punjab, there's Uttar Pradesh, where they're yet to kind of get their berries together and figure out what's happening. So I'm going to take it state by state, reporter by reporter, to explain to you what's happening in each situation, in each circumstance. Let's start with Bengal, which is what everyone's talking about right now. So I want to begin with Suryagni Roy for those updates. Suryagni, with the TMC now hitting out also directly at Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, does it look like things aren't heading in the right direction? Does it look like otherwise they could reach some middle ground? Because we're hearing that the High Command has sent out a message to Adhir to stop these personal attacks at Mamta.
Well, Akshita, if you just look at what has been happening between the Trinamool Congress and the Congress over here in Bengal, the Bengal unit of the Congress over here, it is clear that these two political parties are at loggerheads, and they have been fighting against each other politically for a long time right now, since 2016 elections. So amidst all of this, when the seat sharing issues cropped up and there were reports that Mamata Banerjee is comfortable with giving the Congress two seats, the two seats that they have won. Let's not forget that the Congress has won only 2 seats in 2019. So we asked them, we saw what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said, that he doesn't want, any kind of, a bheek from Mamata on this particular issue. Yeah. Now, the Trinamool Congress is of the opinion that there might be some, or rather there has to be a parameter on which seats should be, distributed. They say that in 2021, Trinamool Congress went solo and they won more than 200 seats, whereas Congress, in an alliance with the left and Indian Secular Front, they won 0 seats. So in what capacity does Congress, ask for 6 to 8 seats is something that Trinamool Congress is, really asking and questioning. However, It's still not clear that how many seats in this particular alliance will be shared between the Congress and the Trinamool Congress, or rather, the biggest question is, will there will any seat sharing be done over here in Bengal or not between the Congress and the Trinamool Congress is the question of the hour.
It looks like it could take some more time really to figure out, but I also want to focus now on what's happening in Uttar Pradesh. We had a news break coming in this morning about the Congress putting forth their demand to the Samajwadi Party, which is that they want to fight 25 seats. And they're citing the 2009 performance to say, look, you give us 25 seats, we'll ensure we deliver. Abhishek Mishra, does it look like that will actually happen? 2009 to 2024, long time since then, things have changed drastically as far as the political picture in Uttar Pradesh is concerned.
Well, absolutely, Akshita. There has been a lot of changes in the political scenario of the state as well. 2009, comparing it with 2024 elections, is not something which justifies that number. Although the state local unit here of the Congress party is seeking at least 25 to 23 seats as part of the number for the India Alliance. But Akhilesh Yadav, it looks like will be a tough nut to crack, because he won't be ready for that number. The reason being is that the vote share, also the performance of the Congress party in the last couple of elections, specifically the last election, only 1 seat, that too for the Sonia Gandhi in Raebareli. Before that, 2014, only 2 seats, one Amethi, Rahul Gandhi, and again Sonia Gandhi from Raebareli. So the number of share of the seat will certainly be depending on their vote share, 1, 2, their previous performances, and 3, the circumstances in that particular constituency or that seat. So that is something which needs to be sorted out. Akhilesh so far has not spoken yet, but it's going to be a tough situation.
We've already seen differences cropping up between the Congress and the Samajwadi Party, especially what happened in Madhya Pradesh. So is that something that Akhilesh will kind of use and harbour to change and ensure that the Congress doesn't get what they want? This is also largely an ego battle for the Congress. They want to prove that they can fight it out on a substantial number of seats in every single state. And in Maharashtra, that's exactly the battle that's happening. You'd think that in a state like Maharashtra, things would be technically easier because you already had an alliance of the Mahavikas Aghadi. But we've seen non-stop bickering between the Congress and the UBT Sena, with again a public feud like what we've been seeing in Bengal. Mustafa, have things been ironed out? We know that there's been a lot of backroom talks happening between Uddhav Sena and also between the Congress leadership in Maharashtra and the High Command also being directly involved.
Well, yes, Akshata, and the problem in Maharashtra for India Alliance is quite unique because in many states, Congress has to deal with one other regional party in terms of seat sharing. But in Maharashtra, they have to deal with NCP Sharad Pawar faction and the faction of the Shiv Sena. So there are seats which have to be divided in three parties. The Congress conducted its Foundation Day ceremony here in Maharashtra in Nagpur. So they are aiming big in Maharashtra. They had just won one Lok Sabha seat in 2019. So clearly you can say that both the parties, the NCP and Shiv Sena, the Congress will have to convince them very hard to give them substantial amount of seats. There are 48 seats, Lok Sabha seats in Maharashtra, the second highest after Uttar Pradesh. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Mustafa, for joining us with all of those details. We'll see, of course, maybe in a week from now, we'll have clarity on whether the Congress is able to get what they want in many of these states and what kind of middle ground is reached. But what's clear is that while you're seeing all of this bickering taking place, a lot of grandstanding by these political parties, at the end of the day, each of these parties have also made it clear that they want to make this alliance work, particularly the Congress, with the High Command, Mallikarjun Kharge, making it very clear to the likes of Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary and all the other leaders who've been resorting to this kind of back and forth publicly. He's told them to refrain from doing that, saying these are our allies, we need to keep them happy. So it'll be interesting to see how really things play out in a week or so. Remember that there was a deadline that was issued of December 31st to figure out the seat sharing deal, but it looks like they've clearly overshot that deadline. It's taking a lot more time because it's also a lot harder for the Congress to figure out what exactly the seat sharing deal could look like in different parts of the country.